Well, they can't. They can't. It has to be. If there's no process, I mean, there's no. It's imperative. It's not permissive. Yeah. Well, like scrutineers, for instance, it's not for them to determine. It's for the candidate to determine. Like it's for if the voter realizes that, you have to look at it like it says may. That's permissive. But they can't say, well, they can't determine it. It's up to me to determine. You have to have the right to have scrutineers, to have a paper ballot, the right to look at the voters list. You have a right to check and give it to them in an email. But here's what you have to understand, too. I want you to understand this as a reporter. What I told Chris now, the Ontario Interpretation Act, 1990, okay? Chris, we're going to put stuff together for him to understand, but he doesn't have, when I emailed Jackie said you don't have to email. Now, she was purposely doing that to make sure I left out the documentation. When she got back to me anyways, I left out the statute, which I did. Now, under the section 9 of the, section 7 of the Interpretation Act, here's what it states, and I want you to understand this. This is important for you. Judicial notice. Every act shall be judicially noticed by judges, justices of the peace, and others without being specifically pled. They're supposed to, they already, this is why they make $300,000 a year. Like, what do they make $300,000 a year for a bunch of lawyers? They go and argue nothing in front of them? No, they make their money because they're supposed to know it. The natural aspect of it, do the natural law aspect of it too. We need to do that. I'm just trying to, I thought Doug Ford would have stepped in here somewhere. He's got both emails. I don't know if he's got them personally, but whoever they're going to has got them. Doug Ford was the one that said he was going to bring accountable. Norm Miller didn't support Doug's lawyer opinion. So it comes to cost, it comes to liability too, because Jackie's supposed to know this. It's the act. This is an act. This is their legal statute. Interpretation Act rules. The Interpretation Act rules over the Courts of Justice Act. The Interpretation Act rules over the statutes. It rules over the acts. The baby vote. Every act shall be judicially noticed by judges, justices, and others without being specifically pled. Number section 10. Every act shall be deemed to be remedial, whether it's immediate purport of doing of anything that the legislature deems to be for the public good, prevent or punish doing of anything that deems to be contrary to the public good, shall accordingly receive such fair, large, and liberal construction and interpretation as will best ensure the attainment of the object of the act according to its true intent, meaning, and yeah, I mean, how are they going to justify closing the portals and how? Well, yeah, how do you justify that? Well, we had to close it. Well, you know what? To be there, a scrutineer has the right to be there at the counting and the balance one. Like you posted already, the law, how this legal bullshit has taken over our whole existence. Oh, Christ almighty, I don't even know what's right or wrong anymore, do you? Well, what we can do is, that's be pled. She can't come in and say, they have no right, like what I'm trying to say is, they don't have a right, the town doesn't have a right to dictate the way things are going to be. Hey, the act says as a candidate, and this is where the voters come in, as a candidate, see the voters, like Chris can say, as a voter, I can't be present at the counting of votes, but the candidate is there ensuring for me that the votes are counted properly. By Jackie coming in and saying, look, this is the way it's going to be. You're not going to have scrutineers. It's going to be portals. The portals goes half an hour. They're taking that permissive aspect of the statute away. Yeah, to understand too, and you have to understand too. If Chris goes in there, I'm ready to go with this. Merely submit, and they seek an adjournment on. Chris can now turn around and come back and say, I want to stay on council's action. Chris can come in and say, I'm being prejudiced here now for an adjournment. I'm not saying no to the adjournment, but what I'm saying is, I can be prejudiced here because the longer this takes, the further that they can become rooted within council here. Stay on their action. They can't do anything. Chris, he's ready. There's nothing he can do. I mean, he's ready to go.